Hey guys, today's video is a quick tip on how to use images. We're going to be working with some flags that we're using both as icons and images that will be backgrounds for our chiclet slicers. Let's get to it. Okay guys, so in this particular video, one of the things that we're going to be looking at is the chiclet slicer. If you don't know what that is, on your visualizations here, click the ellipsis button right here. And what you want to do is go out and search for Chiclet here and grab this right here, this Microsoft Chiclet slicer right here. Now, if you're an old Excel user, you're familiar with these, and the way they look by default is designed to give you a familiar look. But anyway, get the Chiclet slicer installed on your application so that you can build these sorts of visuals like this that have a slicer with your flags in it here. And I'm going to show you how to get from here to here with the chiclet slicer, and also how to use images and icons as we have them here. We're going to talk about some limitations with the icons and also the format in which you need to save your images in order to get the best results. So first things first, let's take a look at the icon list here. So one of the things here about icons that you need to be aware of is that icons in Power BI are always square, and the smallest size square you can have is 24 by 24 pixels. So if you're building icons, you need to center those icons on that square. So make a transparent PNG for the best result. Make sure that that flag or your icon, whatever it is centered on here, so that when it shows up on the list here, that it shows up in the middle here. It's centered, vertically centered here in the list here, as well as that way it's going to line up better with your text here. Now, for the other images here, they don't have to necessarily be square, can be anything, but if you're going to use them in chiclet slicers, as we're doing here, you need to leave room at the bottom for a text label. You can either leave room for it, or if you want to further customize the images so that there's a nice background here for the text to be on top of, you can do that as well. But anyway, what we've done here is we've saved the small flags that we're using for our slicers. You can see that we've saved them at the top of the image here, and we've left the bottom part of the image transparent, so we've got room for our label right here. Okay, so the first thing is, if you've never used images before in Power BI, one of the things that you need to do when you add these images in is to make sure that the data category is image URL. So this is going to be an HTTP link to the image from your web server, and then the data category needs to be image URL. If it's not image URL, then you will not see the icon in the report. So anyway, we're using, by the way, this is Tabular Editor 3 here. This is an external tool. If you're a Power BI developer and you're not using this tool, you need to go right away and get this. This is a game-changing tool. We're not going to get into it in this video, but only to note that the data category type for the flags does need to be image URL. Okay, once you've got that, you will see your images here. And now let's talk about how to get these images here into a list here. So all you need to do is, once you've got your images, as we can see right here, this is the country codes table here. It's got the code of the country, the name of the country, and then our two flag links here. And they are stored, as we talked about, with the icon flag centered, and then the flag that we're going to use for the background is up at the top here with the rest of the image stored. So by default, they're going to be 75 pixels. That's just the default when you drop it in. The minimum is going to be 24 by 24. And the way you do that here is, let's just take a look here at the size here. And what we see here is on our image size right here, we can see the height and width are 24 by 24. Again, it's got to be square. You can't say 12 by 24, etc. It's always going to be square, and 24 is the smallest. With that, you'll get a result that looks like this here. Okay, now, how do we get from a chiclet slicer that looks like this down to one that looks like this here? Okay, simple enough. So the first thing you want to do is when you have your slicer and you dragging in the data that you're going to use for your slicer. In this particular case, our category is going to be country here. The next thing you need to do is to drag in the flag image here, the flag small, into the image here, and you'll end up with something that looks like this. So to go from here to here, simply drag the image in here into the image section, grab that image URL, and you'll get this right here. Now, the next thing you want to do to make this more compact so that it looks something like this is that you're going to want to make a few adjustments here to that. And let's take a look here. And so under the visualization pane here, click on the format your visual, go down to images, and here you can change the image split here. And you can see, I'm going to show you what this does when you're playing around with it here. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to, depending on the image you have in the background here, you want to play around with this image split right here in order to get the right size here so that everything fits. So that's basically it. If you've got any questions or comments, drop them down below. Please like and subscribe. I love making these videos. If there's another particular topic you want me to make a video about, comment below and